Immortality Season 8 Episode 10. Fang Han has really struck it rich this time. After refining the true blood of Panwu, Fang Han finally succeeded in entering the space of the Key of the Wild God. 3,000 rivers of pure yang, 3,000 mountain ranges of pure yang crystal, and at least 1,000 kinds of immortal pills. Low-grade, mid-grade, high-grade, and even supreme-grade immortal pills fill the entire space. Not only that, when Fang Han's grotto heaven merged with the space, he even comprehended the true essence of the law of time, successfully promoting to the fourth fold of longevity, the cosmic light realm. Next, how exciting will the battle be between Fang Han's group and Taihuangtian's true immortal avatar? And what will be the end of Hua Tiandu? Hello, fellow Taoists. Thank you, fellow Taoists, for your continuous support with likes and coins. Your support is the motivation for Taoist Fusheng to keep updating. Continuing from last time, Immortal Venerable Panwu, I shall inherit your will. Let me refine it. Great Blood Soul Technique. Fang Han burned a full 36,000 years of lifespan to refine the true blood of Panwu. However, the true blood of Panwu is not so easily refined. Immortal Venerable Panwu had already reached the cultivation of a heavenly monarch. Back then, the heavenly monarch of chaos killed countless dragons, demons, Buddhas, immortals, fierce beasts, and divine beasts to forge the chaos primal fetus, yet none of them were experts at the heavenly monarch level. A heavenly monarch is a monarch of heaven, only one step away from comprehending creation. Such a status makes them an overlord even in the immortal realm. However, under the activation of the lesser fate technique, this true blood of Panwu seemed to sense a trace of the aura of fate and also seemed to feel the vitality of the world tree. Suddenly, with a tremor, it actually entered Fang Han's body, lodging itself between Fang Han's eyebrows, hovering and radiating 10,000 rays of golden light. Great. I have actually subdued this blood. Once I completely refine this blood, I can raise my realm. The lost lifespan is nothing at all. Fang Han was overjoyed. He felt that from within that blood, there was a faint, vague aura of ownership being emitted. It was as if he himself was the master of the entire treasury of Heavenly Marshal, and the key of the Wild God was the key to his own front door. Fang Han, you are forcing my hand. I originally didn't want Tai sect to enter this key of the Wild God inside the ancestral witch mirror, but you have driven me to a dead end. I will fight you to the death. What I, Hua Tiandu, cannot obtain, you can forget about getting either. I would rather let Tai sect benefit than you. True immortal avatar, Taihuangtian talisman. Patriarch Taihuangtian, let your clone descend here. As he spoke, Hua Tiandu ripped open his clothes with a whoosh, revealing his chest. Upon his chest, a long talisman was actually drawn. This talisman was filled with the pressure of an immortal, which was actually a power even stronger than the virtual immortal talisman of the sacred light great world. It was an avatar of Taihuangtian, a true immortal talisman. The ninth fold of longevity, having crossed the lightning tribulation of the immortal realm, is called a virtual immortal. And the 10th fold of longevity, having comprehended the law of the impermanence of life and death, is called a true immortal, meaning a real immortal, no longer a virtual one. A real immortal, no longer a virtual one. Taihuangtian is at this realm. Taihuangtian is at this realm. One step further is a heavenly immortal. What is a heavenly immortal? Heaven, in the hearts of all cultivators, is not the starry universe, but the immortal realm. The immortal realm is heaven. A heavenly immortal is a true immortal who, after ascending to heaven, undergoes another transformation upon entering the immortal realm. That is a heavenly immortal. A 10th fold longevity true immortal. The terror of their power goes without saying. Standing at the peak of the entire heaven, earth, and universe, traversing several great worlds through interstellar space is like taking a leisurely stroll. Refining supreme-grade Tao weapons and activating them is as easy as turning a hand. Fang Han immediately felt that the magic power on this talisman on Hua Tiandu's body was above 1 trillion, far exceeding 1 trillion. His expression suddenly changed. Taihuangtian's calculations were actually so deep, refining one of his clones into a talisman to enter the treasury of Heavenly Marshal, merging with Hua Tiandu's soul to avoid the rejection of the ancestral witch mirror. Taihuangtian's shadow emerged from the talisman, descending upon the key of the wild god, his eyes like the sun and moon. The gray space inside the ancestral witch mirror was eternally unformed, but as soon as Taihuangtian appeared, he was like a giant god splitting heaven and earth, separating the clear from the turbid, creating the sun and moon. Even the key of the wild god began to tremble, and the various formations upon it began to operate. This supreme-grade Tao weapon, the trunk of the world tree, also faced a major threat. Fang Han, I did not expect you to have such a great opportunity to obtain the only fragment of the world tree that still contains vitality. Back then, the ancestor Holy King of the Divine Clan severed the world tree, completely wiping out all of its vitality. Yet, there is always a silver lining in the heavenly Tao, so there must be a fragment that still holds vitality, waiting for the destined one. And you actually happen to be that destined person. I had calculated this long ago. Unfortunately, the demon Venerable Qiyuan was protecting you, and that traitor Linglong was also using you. But now your luck ends here. Taihuangtian's true immortal avatar locked his eyes onto Fang Han. A powerful divine sense swept over. With a thought, Fang Han flew out from the root system of the world tree, and his many magic treasures descended upon his body. Meanwhile, even more pure yang heavy water, and even crystals from the key of the wild god, all flew into the Yellow Springs map, burning. Hua Tiandu, you useless trash. You even lost the true blood of Panwu, letting this little bastard obtain it. If you had spoken earlier about having the true blood of Panwu, our Tai sect would not be in such a passive position. A drop of a heavenly monarch's immortal blood, blood of a heavenly monarch, who surpasses heavenly immortals, divine immortals, mysterious immortals, golden immortals, and many other immortals. How could you possibly refine it? If I had obtained it, I could have directly torn open the gate of the immortal realm and descended into the immortal realm. No need for the edicts of the immortal realm, truly free and unfettered. Taihuangtian suddenly waved his large hand, reaching out to cover Hua Tiandu. It is not like that. Patriarch, spare my life. Hua Tiandu cried out in terror, watching helplessly as the giant hand enveloped him, and then his body vanished into thin air. You killed Hua Tiandu? Fang Han was stunned. I will not kill him. To me, he still has great utility value. To you, he is your destined enemy, bound to be entangled with you. I will send him to the immortal realm to pave the way for me, to let me know what the immortal realm is really like, and what the distribution of power is right now. After he goes to the immortal realm to cultivate, his magic power will advance by leaps and bounds. At that time, he will smuggle himself back down to completely kill you. Haha, now that you put it that way, I am relieved. Suddenly, all of Fang Han's surprise vanished, and the pressure from Taihuangtian's clone also dissipated. Taihuangtian was taken aback. You say you want to send Hua Tiandu to the immortal realm, and then, after he achieves success in his cultivation, have him smuggle himself back down. Then what you mean is, with only this clone coming here now, you are far from being able to do anything to me. You have absolutely no confidence in killing me. In your subconscious, you know you cannot do anything to me right now. Therefore, I have nothing to worry about at all. All the treasures of the treasury of Heavenly Marshal this time are mine. Disc of Samsara, completely obliterate. Fang Han's voice was filled with composure. He had seen through the flaw in Taihuangtian's words. Within the Yellow Springs map, a massive amount of pure yang heavy water burned, and the phantom of the disc of Samsara flew out completely, pressing down toward Taihuangtian. This clone of mine indeed cannot kill you, but I can severely wound you, ruining your countless years of bitter cultivation and turning you into a cripple. Taihuangtian took a fierce step forward. I will let you know just how terrifying and irresistible the cultivation of a true immortal is. At the same time as he stepped forward, Taihuangtian extended his large hand, actually grabbing the phantom of the disc of samsara in one go. The phantom struggled within his hand, as if it had fallen into another world, unable to break free no matter what. Seeing this scene, Fang Han was almost choked to death by his own saliva. He had never seen anyone deal with the phantom of the disc of samsara like this, squeezing it in the palm of his hand, letting it spin as it pleased. Is this the power of a true immortal? Just a single clone is already this terrifying. Fang Han, so this is the power of the disc of samsara?
It really disappoints me.
Back then, in the hands of the great emperor of the Yellow Spring, it was not of this caliber. It seems you are still far too weak. Even if you are given countless pure yang pills, it would be of no use at all. Taihuangtian squeezed his palm violently. Crack! The phantom of the disc of samsara exploded completely within his palm, turning into countless fragments and then vanishing. Senior sister, Emperor's pen, quickly enter the ancestral witch mirror to slay Taihuangtian together. The true immortal avatar Fang Han summoned violently, the Panwu true blood between his brows slowly circulating through his body, once again connecting with that ancient power on the key of the wild god. Outside, Fang Qingxue and Feng Yaoguang, and even the Emperor's pen, who was in a fierce battle with the wild god king, were startled. They saw a hazy gray light emanating from the ancestral witch mirror, shining upon them and pulling them into the mirror. The Emperor's pen knew what was happening and did not resist. Instead, it wrote a character and instantly vanished, also descending into the ancestral witch mirror, seeing the key of the wild god. Fang Qingxue and Feng Yaoguang also heard Fang Han summon. At this moment, only the wild god king, the Kunpeng, the Taotai, and Meng Xiaobai were left in the wild god temple. Kunpeng, Taotai, Meng Xiaobai. Damn it, my losses are too great. My 33 heavens treasures. I also lost 18 forget worry immortal pills. Fellow Taoist wild god king, what do we do now? Shall we also enter the ancestral witch mirror? The Kunpeng and Taotai looked at the wild god king. As they spoke, the gazes of the three shifted to the ancestral witch mirror. We cannot enter it. Fang Han was only able to enter because of the world tree. That is how he got inside. The only thing we can do now is to refine the ancestral witch mirror, to refine this mirror. You two are divine beasts with surging magical power. Join forces with me. With a roar, the wild god king spat out a beam of light, striking the ancestral witch mirror, attempting to penetrate his magical power into it. The Kunpeng and Taotai also looked at each other. Indeed, right now, a world-shaking battle is raging inside the ancestral witch mirror. We can take advantage of them when both sides are exhausted. This ancestral witch mirror is rumored to be a supreme treasure of the great witch world. It is neither a precious tool nor a Tao weapon, and certainly not an immortal weapon. Rather, it belongs to some unknown class of treasure. It once shone brilliantly in ancient times. The people of the great witch world even wanted to use it to establish the witch realm, to stand alongside the immortal realm. But they were destroyed by the punishment of the immortal realm. Let's be careful. If there is a chance later, plotting against the wild god king is not out of the question. The two divine beasts, each with their own hidden motives, also spat out a mouthful of vital energy, spraying it onto the ancestral witch mirror. At this time, Fang Qingxue, Feng Yaoguang, and the Emperor's pen had all entered the ancestral witch mirror. They saw the key of the wild god, and also saw Taihuangtian. Seeing that Fang Han had summoned so many people, Taihuangtian could not help but laugh out loud. Yet his eyes turned toward the Emperor's pen. Excellent, Emperor's pen, the sharpest weapon of antiquity. To think that during the Great Tribulation, you actually comprehended the realm of unity of heaven and earth. I have already cultivated to the true immortal realm. If you submit to me, I will take you to the immortal realm to cultivate together. For you to eventually promote to an immortal weapon, or even a creation divine weapon, is not beyond hope. What does a true immortal amount to? It is merely the lowest grade of immortal, and cannot even be considered a true immortal. Only a heaven immortal can be considered an immortal. But even a heaven immortal is nothing in my eyes. Even the 9 realms above you, origin immortal, sacred immortal, ancestral immortal, zenith immortal, I do not care about any of them. Only a heavenly monarch is qualified for me to align with. But to make me submit is impossible. Do you think you are of the level of the creation immortal king or Taoist Hongmeng, existences who have comprehended creation? Existences who are only a step away from eternal life and immortality. Only a step away from eternal life and immortality. Only a step away from eternal life. Existences who are only a step away from eternal life and immortality. Compared to them, you're still just an ant. You're still just an ant. Taihuangtian, do you know? And this tiny avatar of yours is even worse than an ant. The Emperor's pen struck out boldly, writing the characters small. Fang Han, focus wholeheartedly on driving the Panwu true blood and the world tree to completely control this key of the wild god. Do not be distracted. I will deal with this true immortal avatar. Fang Han, give me the pure yang heavy water. I will use the immortal ancient thunder cannon to blast Taihuangtian's true immortal avatar. All right. Fang Han connected the Yellow Springs map and the city of tempestuous thunder, and then the surging pure yang heavy water flowed like a great river, entering the city of tempestuous thunder, completely absorbed by the immortal ancient thunder cannon. Chan Nanan also lined her own pockets, devouring it in huge gulps. The spirit of a supreme Tao weapon had it so rough. Although she could absorb the origin chi of the immortal realm herself, but her main body was too massive, and the origin chi required to sustain it was thousands of times that of an ordinary cultivator. Normally, she could not even move. Moving would cause the weapon's spirit to wither. Furthermore, the weapon's spirit could not leave the main body to roam outside. Otherwise, it would end up like the seal of common people, whose spirit went out on its own, while its main body was immediately occupied by the wild god king's avatar, becoming a homeless existence. Therefore, the spirits of supreme Tao weapons all hope for a master to infuse them with pure yang origin power, allowing them to unleash their power to their heart's content and roam the world, and elevate their realm. As a massive amount of pure yang heavy water poured into the city of tempestuous thunder, Fang Qingshue's expression remained unchanged. She directly rotated the city of tempestuous thunder, and the immortal ancient thunder cannon flashed with golden light. A thick pillar of light pierced through, a thick pillar of light, a thick pillar of light pierced through, locking onto Taihuangtian's immortal avatar. Taihuangtian's true immortal avatar, seeing the immortal ancient thunder cannon blasting toward him, grew much more solemn in expression. His expression grew much more solemn. Opening his mouth, he spat, spitting out an equally pitch-black pillar of light, colliding with the immortal ancient thunder cannon. The two forces clashed fiercely. This pitch-black pillar of light spat from his mouth was filled with the aura of disaster, clearly the aura of the great disaster technique. The Emperor's pen, facing Taihuangtian, wrote once again. After writing the character small, it wrote the character weak. The two characters revolved around Taihuangtian and suddenly shot into Taihuangtian's body. I am incomparably powerful. You, Emperor's pen, can do nothing to me. This avatar of Taihuangtian shook once more, actually forcing the two characters of the Emperor's pen out of his body. With a tremor, they shattered into fragments. Then his eyes locked onto Fang Han. Light of destruction. The Emperor's pen immediately shifted its body, its towering figure blocking in front of Fang Han, warding off the light of destruction shot from Taihuangtian's eyes. In the air, it wrote another ancient character, kill. Instantly, killing intent surged, and a slaughterous aura permeated everywhere. Taihuangtian's entire body vibrated. Reaching out, he crushed the character kill once again. Then, he took a violent step forward, a giant hand clawing toward the key of the wild god, shaking it violently, seemingly trying to seize this key. However, how heavy and massive was the key of the wild god. Even with the power of his true immortal avatar, he could not budge it. If it were not contained within the ancestral witch mirror, even a supreme Tao weapon probably could not hold this key. Fang Han was now sitting cross-legged atop the key of the wild god, using the world tree in an attempt to fully establish a connection with the key of the wild god. He had already noticed that this key of the wild god was incredibly mysterious, as he actually could not sense its weapon spirit. Yet it was not like the seal of common people, whose spirit had departed. Right now, he also could not sense this key, or what kind of state it existed in. Thus, he could only silently probe with his divine sense to refine it and to merge with the ancient source aura upon it. To master this key, even if he could not fully control it, controlling a portion of it would still be excellent.
Crack.
His divine sense continuously penetrated deep into the key of the wild god. First, he saw that within some spaces, massive amounts of pure yang crystals were stored. In the mountain ranges, pure yang heavy water continuously flowed in, and then gathered together, heavily compressed, and finally turned into crystals, rather than existing in the form of pills. As Fang Han's divine sense probed further upward, he felt that this key seemed to be truly communicating with the immortal realm, plundering it. Every single moment, liquid immortal realm origin qi gushed down, gathering into an ocean. And beneath the ocean, there was a massive formation that purified the liquid, leaving only the pure yang origin qi, while all other impurities were expelled, sent to some unknown space. Previously, Fang Han could only absorb liquid immortal qi that had not been purified. And now, it can directly connect to the pure yang heavy water. It is truly spectacular. The place where Fang Han's divine sense is currently standing is the first layer inside the key of the wild god. One can see that within the vast space, 3,000 great rivers of pure yang are surging and flowing. At the end of the 3,000 great rivers of pure yang is a towering mountain of pure yang crystals. If each crystal mountain were converted into medicinal pills, they could only be calculated in trillions. And now, Fang Han can take from them at will. This single pure yang crystal mountain, if converted into pure yang pills, could be tens of trillions or even hundreds of trillions. And there are 3,000 mountains and 3,000 great rivers. Just how many pills would that be? I have truly struck it rich. I am afraid I can now rival the promised Star Palace. Moreover, the key of the wild god is still continuously absorbing liquid immortal qi to condense origin qi. With the key of the wild god, one wins the world. Now that I have so much pure yang qi, how many experts can I cultivate? Seeing the 3,000 great rivers of pure yang and the 3,000 pure yang crystal mountain ranges, Fang Han's heart surged with excitement. He seemed to already see the scene of himself cultivating countless experts, utterly routing the divine clan, and unifying the grand Xianhuang world. However, unfortunately, he cannot move the key of the wild god away right now. Walking to the end of the first layer of the key of the wild god, Fang Han saw a space-time barrier appear. A large number of crystal walls blocked him, making it impossible to go deeper or peer into its origin. Fang Han performed the Great Origin technique, attempting to merge with the crystal wall and go deeper inside, but there was still no reaction. A thought completely devoid of emotion was transmitted into Fang Han's divine sense. Possesses the true blood of Panwu, designated successor, but has not comprehended the law of time. Unable to enter the second layer of the key of the wild god. Where did this thought come from? Without comprehending the law of time, one cannot enter. Could it be that the key of the wild god has many layers, and entering each layer requires the corresponding law to obtain the treasures within? What did Fang Han realize at this moment? He carefully spread his divine sense across the entire space, and immediately detected that this first layer of the key of the wild god was about the size of a planet. Its function is to absorb liquid immortal qi from the immortal realm, purify into pure yang heavy water, and then condense it into crystal mountains. The wealth accumulated over time is immeasurable. Currently, he can only control this first layer of space, and the root system of the world tree can also only take root within this first layer of space to absorb the power of pure yang and liquid immortal qi, unable to go any deeper. After thinking for a moment, Fang Han suddenly shouted, "True blood of Panwu." From between his brows, a fist-sized clump of the true blood of Panwu flew out. With a slight spin, the aura of immortal venerable Panwu began to merge with the entire first layer of space. Suddenly, Fang Han felt the space and the grotto heaven he had cultivated connect into one. His own space could manipulate the power of this space at any time, and when necessary, he could even ignite the pure Yang crystal mountains to unleash the power of a supreme Dao weapon. Just as his grotto heaven merged with this first layer of space, the magic power in his body surged wildly once again. One by one, the laws of space flowed through his heart. In his body, more fragments of the law of space condensed and took shape. A total of 3,000 fragments of the law of space were circulating within his body. The magic power inside his body expanded, and a small portion of the true blood of Panwu melted into his body, being refined by him and merging with his bloodline. Both his strength and magic power were growing. At this moment, his law of space reached great perfection. 3,000 fragments of the law of space formed a complete crystal of the law of space. This crystal of the law of space, like a six-sided prism gemstone, represented the true meaning of the heavens, earth, and the four directions. At this moment, he faintly sensed a power of time and was only a single step away from comprehending the law of time and reaching the cosmic light realm. Break the barrier. Seek the truth. A single step away cannot block my mind. At this very moment, the cosmic light realm of the law of time cannot stop my impact and grasp. At this moment, with the law of space at great perfection, Fang Han did not hesitate at all and began to charge at the law of time, aiming to reach the fourth level of the longevity secret realm, the cosmic light realm. He had experience in comprehending the law of time, having comprehended it multiple times within the Yellow Springs map. Furthermore, inside his body, there was still a tiny fragment of the law of time left behind by a clone of the Wild God King. Now, based on this tiny fragment of the law of time, Fang Han's eyes broke through the barrier and his fist blasted into the void.
Bang!
After the punch echoed, Fang Han's grotto heaven and his body both began to undergo a transformation. A powerful aura was brewing. At this moment, neither time nor space seemed able to obstruct his existence. Within his natal grotto heaven, a tiny fragment emerged. A faint power of time radiated from it. Within his grotto heaven, the rate of time flow became slightly different from the outside world. Although this rate of flow was very weak, it was a fundamental change. At this moment, he stepped into the cosmic light realm with one stride. Having comprehended the law of time, he had once again ascended to a new realm. At the moment of his promotion, his lifespan increased boundlessly. A large amount of pure yang heavy water and even some of the crystal mountains disintegrated, entering his body and beginning to transform into magic power. This caused his strength to rise as well. In an instant, his internal capacity expanded and his magic power boiled. Originally, it was the power of 30 billion surging wild horses, but now it had risen to a full 80 billion. Right now, Fang Han's strength was not much different from divine beasts like the Kunpeng and Taotai that had stepped into the cosmic light realm. Moreover, as long as he continues to cultivate, accumulating more fragments of the law of time to finally bring the law of time to great perfection, his magic power will continue to rise, eventually standing shoulder to shoulder with divine beasts, or even surpassing them. For no other reason than because he has the true blood of Panwu and the great origin technique inside his body. With every realm he ascends, his magic power is several times, or even 10 times that of other cultivators, and his magic power is incredibly long-lasting. That fragment of the law of time slowly rotated within Fang Han's grotto heaven and then entered his body, ultimately bringing the magic power in his body close to saturation. Not only was it fully replenished, but his lifespan also increased to a terrifying 240,000 years, conforming to the art of the heavens and 6 directions. What was even more overbearing was that once Fang Han made this breakthrough, The crystal wall barrier of the second layer of the key of the wild god seemed to no longer pose any obstacle to him. Stepping inside, all of a sudden, the fragrance of medicine rushed over him. It turned out to be a place where medicinal pills were stored. Fang Han saw a vast amount of earth-grade pills, such as the Dharma Sage Relic, piled up like garbage in hall after hall. There were also heaven-grade pills, such as the rare Nirvana pill, the 7-Life Mysterious Gate pill, and even the 9 Revolutions Soul Returning pill. The Great Taiching Jade Liquid pill was also piled up inside, stored in one giant gourd after another. There were also many rare pills that Fang Han could not even name, and the quantity was extremely massive. Heaven-grade pills were stored as if they were just common rice. There were even immortal pills. The 10-Heart Heavenly King Treasure pill that Fang Han recognized, the Pill of Creation, and so on, were also stored in the gourds above, suppressed by spiritual talismans. There were at least 1,000 kinds of immortal pills. There were low-grade immortal pills, mid-grade immortal pills, and even high up in the sky, peerless immortal pills suppressed in powerful crystal bottles. Those immortal pills, Fang Han could not even name them. There was not even any record of them in the Heavenly Dragon Secret Manual. They seemed to be pills refined by extremely brilliant immortals from the immortal realm. Fang Han even felt that he had no way to consume them. If he consumed them, his body would definitely explode, causing his death. This is a true fortuitous encounter. I, Fang Han, have never been this wealthy. What Ascension sect, what Tai sect probably do not even have this many immortal pills. Fang Han was trembling all over with excitement. But for now, I should destroy Taihuangtian's avatar outside first. With a shift of his body, he flew out of the space of the key of the wild god. Emperor's Pen, although your realm is high, you cannot deal with me. You cannot contend with a true immortal either. What is a true immortal? A true immortal. Even if it is only an avatar, it is enough to suppress you. That is all for today's commentary. Production is not easy. Fellow Taoists, if you like it, please give us a thumbs up to support us. See you tomorrow.